Hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just waiting for a few of you guys to get in here. I was, doing my little share. And I'm going to start to turn it in a minute. I'm going to turn this music off so we can get into the good stuff. Good stuff. Sometimes you got to get in the mood, though. Dun, 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 dun. All right. How's everyone doing? Welcome back. It's been a while, but we're going to keep pressing on through. Just for those of you who do not know, my name is Sharonda Lynn. Hi, good evening, Michelle. Sharonda Lynn, and I am here to talk to you about getting focused. Today, our hack of the day is just getting focused because, number one, we are amazing women and men for the ones that are listening in. And number two, you've been set on a specific purpose. You've been given a charge. God's been wanting you to do certain things, and this is the time and the season to get it right, to get it going. And I just want to help you along the way. We're getting focused today. We're getting purposeful. Isn't that what focus is? When you decide to focus in on something, you're deciding on purpose to go forward. You're deciding on purpose to throw away some things. You're deciding, right? So we're going to talk about getting focused today. And our scripture for the day, because we always got to start off with scripture. We are Bible-based. Our scripture for today is 1 Peter 5:8. And I'm going to give it to you from the New King James Version. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." Now, a lot of times we get to focus on that roaring lion part, like that the enemy is like a roaring lion. He's going to seek us out. But I want you to back up, because he said, be sober. And how do you be sober? But you have to be calm and collected in spirit. So we're going to go over how to cultivate soberness. We're going to talk about how you can be vigilant, stay on your watch, lest you fall into remission, you fall into indolence, or some destructive calamity would suddenly overtake you. That's what being vigilant means in the Bible. So they didn't want anything to overtake you. They wanted you to be sober, good thought, clear mind. So we have to learn to do that, right? We have to learn to be sober even during these times when riots are breaking out and people are doing some unprecedented things in our country and abroad. I know some of you aren't in the United States, but I'm going to tell you right now, the world is going through so many different things. And I'm going to take my glasses off for a minute. But the world is going through so many different things, right? So we want to build our focus. We want to be sober-minded and vigilant so that we do not be overtaken by any kind of calamity, so that we know exactly how to move forward, how to move our purpose forward, how to move our desire forward, because God said he'd give you desires of your heart, but you can't do it being all over the place. We've got to focus in, and we've got to do our due diligence. We have a due diligence to do. We have things that we have to do to get ourselves on track. So I'm not going to be before you long, of course. I always say that, but I usually am pretty cool with that thing. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to give you five things that will help you zero in your focus, that will be giving you, like, if you can get these five things together, you're going to be ahead of the game. Your social media is going to take off. Your business will take off. Your relationships will be better cultivated because you decided to focus in on what's important to you. One of the things, have you ever, for God to put this in the Bible, it tells us that we're going to be off track sometime, and we have to be reminded to be sober and to be vigilant. But have you ever been in a situation where it always feels like it's off track? Everything keeps hitting you again and again, and you don't know where it's coming from or why it's happening. It's in those times. Sorry, guys. It's in those times that we have to get our focus together. We have to be better about our business, right? So the first thing I want to give you is, I want you to get real. Get real with yourself. Have you ever turned around and you're saying, okay, all this stuff is happening, but the truth of the matter is, that I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. I'm not say I'm trying to write a book. I'm not being vigilant about writing so many words every day. Say you're trying to get into school. Well, I'm not really being vigilant about getting my paperwork on time. We have to get real about who we are, and we have to figure out exactly what is going on with us. Like, what's distracting you? What's sending you to the left or sending you to the right? And I just know, because a lot of times we're in denial. Can we just talk about it? We be in denial. Come on, y'all. Sometimes you don't want to exactly look at yourself and pick out all the wrong things. And if this is blessing you, you think it's going to bless you, please share it. Make sure you share this broadcast. But going back, it is important for us. So one of the things, wait a minute, I wanted to show you something. One of the things that helped me with getting real, and because how many times do you hit your phone for social media, right? So one of the things that blessed me was an app called Stay Free. And I want to show you this app. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah. So this is Stay Free. It's the usage time. It shows me how long I've been on social media, all my apps. I know this was a big problem for me. But now what happens is, when I beat what I'm supposed to do, whatever it is I've set for Facebook, for my messages, whatever daily usage time, it cheers me on when I make that mark. It cheers me on. I'll open up the app and it'll have all this confetti explode, and I'm feeling all good about myself then, right? Because I did what I was supposed to do. You got to figure out and be real about what that is so that you can zero in on it. Also, naturally, we have to figure out what this was. This was something that was digital. We know digital gets in the way of everything these days, but naturally, right? Naturally, how many distractions do you have? I know one distraction for me are my dogs, my pets, my animals. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and they are spoiled to no end. I don't even know how they got that way, but of course, I have to be real about who I am. Okay, so I might have spoiled my pets a little bit, but it was all in good conscience. Like, I just make sure they eat and I give them some love, but they want so much more. So I know when I'm doing something like this, if I really need to get some things done, they can't be in my circles. Them little dogs and cats, they herd you up and down the steps. Your pets are like, they will lead you and guide you the whole day. So I have to separate myself from them. And if I want to have work, if I want to get some work done, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? To look at your natural environment and start cutting out what's unnecessary, because that's all it is. What's unnecessary? What is blocking you from being timely, from having things completed? What's blocking you? And then there's a spiritual aspect as well. We like to stay in tune with God. Are you praying when you get up? Let me tell you something. I used to read the Bible, oh my gosh, so much, till I got to the point where I wasn't reading the Bible as much. And then I got to the point where I wasn't reading the Bible. Now, I know that sounds really heinous, but what happens is I get up and I hit the floor running. I say, okay, I'm going to read the Bible a little bit later today. And later today comes and I find myself in another mess. Or later today comes and I can't walk that thing out. And we really have to walk these things out, right? So what I started doing, because I am so focused and purposeful in walking, I have to get out of this house. I have to walk around. If I don't, I am here. And let's just say, I don't want to be in the house all the time, but I need the exercise. I need to be able to say, hey, this is what's going on. Hi, Kimberly. Good evening. This is what's going on. So what happens is I go out to walk. But when I go out to walk, guess what I do? I turn on, okay, you guys, y'all know I'm an IT person. That's my first love. I turn on Spotify. I turn on Spotify. And on Spotify, there's a playlist for the Bible. So now I'm getting the word of God in every day, regardless. And I have set my spiritual tone a little higher. And I pray and I do the things that I have to do. We have to start figuring out what's necessary for you. The Bible every day might not be necessary for you, but prayer might be. And you might not even be thinking of it that way, but that's a peace, that's a settling. So number one, get real and figure out what is distracting you. Cut out the unnecessary. Let's get real. Friends that you don't need, calls that you don't be needing to take. Let's be real. Family members that are just distracting you with arguing or with tasks that you're not supposed to do. You've got to be strong enough to start saying, hey, wait a minute. Now, let me say something. When you're dealing with people, this ain't even in my notes, but let me just tell you, when you're dealing with people, you don't have to tell them what you're going to do. You don't have to announce that you're going to not be speaking to them. You don't have to announce these things when you're dealing with this, because this is so real. Many times we want to do this and we want to go to the person and say, listen, I know we're not good together, so I'm not going to be talking to you. No, that opens the door for them to come back and have it as a discussion so they can stay. Sometimes you don't need that. I'm being real. I'm being real. Sometimes you don't need that. So all you have to do is make the decision to do that. And then you just walk it out. I promise you, they'll just fall off. It's amazing. So number two, we're talking about building your focus. So number two is, I want you to start writing lists down. And I'm not just talking about any list. I'm talking about a target list for the day. You write down a target list. Okay. And I'm going, this is a very rough list, right? Can you see it? It's a list, right? This is some of the things that I worked on today. I added on some stuff. No, this is for today. I added on from yesterday. So this is my list. And so I know that these are the things that I have to get to for my list, right? And then I want you to start doing, it's called Pomodoro Technique, Pomodoro, Pomodoro Technique. If you have a problem with time, this is going to be essential. You have your list, but what you do is, and this can help you whether you have your own business or you're out in the workforce, right? You're out in the workforce. The Pomodoro Technique says this. Number one, you have your set list of things to do. You set a timer. It can be a time. It's very simple. You don't even need to download an app for this. On every phone, there is a timer. When you go to the clock, you can select the timer. You select the timer for like 25 minutes, right? And you commit to working on your task for 25 minutes. When that 25 minutes is up, depending on where you are, well, no, when that 25 minutes is up, you take a break. Go walk. Go take a drink of water. Now, y'all know we're supposed to have water. How many? You're supposed to have? I forget what it is, but I know I'm supposed to have like 120 20 ounces or something like that. So we know that you're supposed to have so much water. So at the end of 25 minutes, that could be a time for you to go walk and get your water. Go to the restroom, stretch your legs, do a stretch at your desk, take a 5-minute break, and then start the 25 minutes again. And then you're going to just redo that whole process 4 times. On the 4th time, you're going to take a 30-minute break. A 30-minute break. And then you're going to start it again. And what you'll notice is the productivity. You're being very purposeful about doing your work. Come on, people. We know we get on the internet and we lose hours laughing, watching stuff, going forward. So we want to control that in this time. And this is especially for those of you who have time issues. And I'm one of those people. I don't use this all the time, but sometimes when I know that I'm everywhere, I write down my list and I get purposeful, because you're not going to get to your next level fooling around. That's just not how we get to our next level. You're not going to get to accomplishing all that God has set you to do playing around. We got to be focused. We got to be focused on what God, and I don't know why my phone is ringing, but we got to be focused on where God has us and what God has us doing, right? And what our desires is. If you're trying to run a big old company, big old corporation, come on, time is everything. Time is money. You get to work late, you might miss the business meeting you need to have. You wake up late, you can't call your manufacturers in China. You have to be very cognizant of when people do business so that you can do business with them. But you got to be very focused on that. You can't just get up and say, okay, I'm going to do something great and not have a plan of action to carry it out. We have to do things differently now. 2020 set us up for 2021. 2020 set us up for 2021. 2021, we're going to walk out some great things. I declare and decree that for your life today. If you're here under the sound of my voice and you understand that you are designated for purpose and reason, I declare and decree you're going to walk that thing out and walk it out in purpose and walk it out in such a way that God has something greater for you than even what you're thinking of. All right. So number 3, coffee in small doses. All right. So what do I mean by that? A caffeinated drink in small doses helps you focus. Literally. Studies show that. Not telling you to go get 3 or 4 cups of coffee and drink and guzzle that down and do it. No. Small doses, caffeine drinks, caffeine beverages in small doses have an impact on your study, on your focus. Too much of anything is a downer. But when you use it the way it needs to be, if you need a little oomph, just get a little bit. Not enough to disrupt your sleep, not enough to disrupt anything else. But if you need a little help, what is it? They have different natural herbs and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to use something. Don't be afraid. And as a matter of fact, if you haven't gone to see a doctor, go make sure your health is right and everything. Make sure your vitamin, go and ask them for a vitamin level check to make sure because what we're finding is that a lot of people are vitamin D deficient, and vitamin D is in every cell in your body, right? So if you're deficient, then your cells are struggling. You're struggling in your sleep. You're struggling everywhere. You want to be sure to do caffeinated drinks in very, 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 like in just in small doses. So it can help you over the hump. Or whatever your doctor, whatever natural method that gives you a bump. It's usually caffeine, though. I'm just going to let you know. Okay, number 4, eat and sleep. I know that's so stupid, right? Just eat and sleep. Why? Because your body can't run on fumes. Come on, people. I don't know why we tend to run, and especially women. We're super guilty of running, and trying to get everything done, and then sitting down and grabbing to eat when we can. And when we get up, we run some more, and we run ourselves in the ground. I have a friend, I won't mention her name, even though she won't see this, but she runs and runs and runs and runs. And I keep telling her, I said, listen, I'm going to need you to, she said, oh, I'm so exhausted, but I'm almost finished. I said, I'm going to need you to learn how to leave the job before you get exhausted. I'm going to need you to learn how to leave the job before you get exhausted. She has that leeway. I'm going to need you to learn how to balance that thing, because when she leaves that job, she's either going to another job or she's going home to her family. Amen. She's going home to her family. So when and I'm telling you, she serves the community. She serves everybody she talks to. She's always giving. Why, women, do we give, and we never give ourselves the opportunity to pull back a little bit and take care of self? I know people don't want to like to hear the word selfish, but I'm going to use it today. You're going to have to be a little selfish when it comes to you. In this next season, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself before your doctors tell you to take care of yourself. Eat the right foods. And the other thing, and I did a study on this some years ago, but sleep. How many of you are getting your sleep? Now, everybody doesn't sleep 8 hours a day. I'm one, I don't sleep 8 hours. I can't even sleep 8 hours. I can lay in the bed. I can go to bed at 9 o'clock. I will be up by 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. I might get a 5 o'clock wake up. That's not true. If I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'm up before 5. Everybody cannot sleep 8 hours. I don't know. They're not your natural, your natural clock, but are you getting your sleep? So if my normal sleep is like six and a half hours, am I getting that? If your sleeper is 8 hours, are you getting that? We have to be cognizant. Everybody's not the same. But let me tell you what sleep will do for you. It will help you lose weight. It will help your mind focus. It will give you clarity. It will allow you to be present. Y'all know what I mean by being present? Being present in things. It allows you to be the best person you can be, because when you don't sleep, you are not focused as much. And what happens is you eat more, you dog yourself out more, you let more negativity in, you let more processes more things slip between your fingers because you cannot focus. You're tired. Your brain is tired. So eat and sleep. I know that's really stupid to say. Sometimes we're very simple. I won't say stupid, but it's a very simple thing that we take advantage of that we don't do. And we need to do it. Hey, we need to do it. Just do it. All right. Number five. And I'm gonna upset some people's apple cart here. Where is my, So number 5, the last thing I want to talk to you about is setting goals, right? But I want you to set hard goals. A lot of you know about SMART goals, right? SMART goals is be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. But what they are finding is often SMART goals have no real meaningful correlation to people achieving great things. And we're all set for greatness. So if you're doing SMART goals, you just may not get there. But let me tell you what hard goals are. HARD. They are heartfelt, H, animated, A, required, R, and difficult at the same time, D. So what that does, what hard goals do, they are great to encourage performance. They are great to pike interest. It taps into your brain. It makes you think a little bit and it gets you excited. Hard goals help you find your why a lot of times. So one of the things when you're trying to be animated, like question number one would be, think about where you want your career to be and describe exactly what you're going to do. So that's animated. You get to think about it. You get to invest in it. Hard goals. You can look at your days. You can look at 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and you start to really formulate in your mind where you want to be. It gets animated. You get to think about it. Oh, I think I want in 5 years, I want to own my house. In 5 years, I want to be here. I want to have this much money in the bank. Be specific. These are what you want to do. And then like for heartfelt, for question number two, you would ask a heartfelt thing. It is describe at least 3 reasons why you want this goal. Why do you want it? It gets you to your why. Why do you want it? Can be something that's intrinsic, personal, and it can be extrinsic. So it could be something your why. It's your why. Why do you want to do this? This is forming your heart goals. Why? This is your heartfelt. This is your why. This is what you can connect with. Okay, I'm doing this because in 5 years, I want my daughter to be set up. If something happens to me, I want her to have my bank account. Oh, I'm doing this because in 5 years, I don't want to have to depend on anybody else. I'm tired of people saying that I'm needy. Oh, in 5 years, I want to be here so that I can achieve my doctorate, my master's, my bachelor's. What is your why? These are your personal questions. And question number 3 you can ask, which is the difficult part. What are the 3 to 5 most important skills you need to develop to achieve this goals? How will you do it? How are you going to develop your skills? Okay, I want to buy a house. Where's my credit? Where's my spending? Where's my savings? What area? What kind of house? What do I need to develop? Do I need to focus in on how much money I'm saving? Do I need to focus in on my credit? Is my credit okay? Do I need to start working on that? These are the things you need to look at. Okay, you want to, I don't know, own a business. What do you need to do? What are the skills you need to have? Do you need to take a business class? Do you need to take a social media management class? Because social media is like really huge right now. Or do you need to have people in place? Do you need to know how to hire people? These are the questions that are the difficult. This is where you get a little difficult, a little bit more focused, I should say, direct and specific in what you want to do. And number 4, required. Now, what do you need to have? What is required? What do you need to have accomplished by the next maybe 6 months to keep on track towards achieving your goal? So when you talk about having something that is required, you're going to check yourself. What do you need in 6 months? And then after 6 months, okay, what do I need now? You're not going to want to do it. Okay, what do I need in the next 5 years? No, break it down in bite-sized pieces that are achievable and that you can really kind of dive in and get it done. So what do you need to do by the end of 90 days? What about 30 days? What's one thing you can accomplish, you can do today? That's how you break down the required. What can you do today to kick it off? Did you apply for your LLC? What can you do today? Can you go out and get your EIN? What can you do today? Can you go and pull your credit reports? What can you do today? And then in the next 30 days, what's your next step? And then 90 days, what's your next step? And then 6 months, what's your next step? These are the things that are required for you to get to the goal that you're looking for. Maybe in 6 months, you want to jump your credit point by 100 points. How do you do that? What do you do today? What do you do in 30 days? What do you do in 90 days? Because these are achievable goals. So that's hard goals. So let's go back over it. right? Hard goals are heartfelt, animated, required, and difficult. They are much more personable. They are much more personable than SMART goals have ever been. And research shows that SMART goals don't necessarily get you to your goal because it's not necessarily something that's pulling at your heart. You're just setting a goal. But when you do hard goals come for your heart. They start off with heartfelt. And then you want to make sure that you have the picture in your mind. It's animated. All of this pulls at you and it's required. What are my requirements to do so? It's not just because SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Great, that sounds great. But when you get down to it, it's much easier to go from a place of feeling than go from a place that's more like, okay, I want to do this and I want to do that, and you don't have your why. I think the reason why I love hard goals so much is that it puts you in the midst of your why. And then you can remind yourself why you're doing it. What's the goal for? So number one, I want you so that we're talking about being focused. We're talking about being intentional. Get real and figure out what's distracting you. Get rid of your unnecessary. Number two, we want to do achievable list, daily list, just a daily list of things you want to accomplish that day. And we're going to set out to accomplishing them doing the Pomodoro Technique, which is working for a certain amount of time and then taking a break, working for a certain amount of time and taking a break. A lot of times the problem is that we will work nonstop and never take a break. And we think it's okay. We think it's okay, but we're overworking ourselves. We're putting ourselves in a bad position. Number three, use natural methods or caffeinated drinks in small doses. Remember I said small dose. I don't even got a mug up here. You know, the big old mug. Stop putting coffee in that much. Stop it. You're hurting yourself. Small. Small. It helps. Scientifically, it helps. So number four is eat and sleep correctly. So I want you to eat and sleep correctly. That means you want to eat and sleep according to your schedule, whether that be 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. Get your sleep in. Your body is going to love you forever. You're going to start slimming down. You're going to start accomplishing everything you set out to do because your brain is being rested. Yes. And eat the right foods, eat stuff that's going to nourish you. Take time out, have your meals. If you know that juicing, and I'm the worst. I need to juice because that's what my body accepts. If you know that juicing is for you, make the gosh darn juice. Right? If you know that you can't eat pork, stop eating pork. If you have IBS, no more words. Figure it out. Like, you know what you're supposed to eat. Come on. And number five, last but not least, we want to set hard goals. All right. So that's what I have for you today. I am encouraged. I know that if you listen this far, you know that you want to focus. You know that these are some things. There's something in here for everybody, something that you can implement, something that you could take away, and something that you can apply even tomorrow. When you wake up, what can you do better? How can you better shape your focus? Can you be present? Can you be present in your life enough to say, okay, these are some of the things I need to do, even if it's not for a job, maybe it's your health. Maybe you got to be more specific and focused in on treating yourself better so that you can live longer. People are dying every day. We all know people that have not made it. And some of it is natural and some of it is preventable. Let's just be the best people that we can be. All right. All right, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, listen, I want to remind you that God's Army featuring different pastors and leaders, which She Is Still Dope, is going to be underway on January 23rd. You can tune in on YouTube at youtube.com/She Is Still Dope. This is a dope global networking event that you will not want to miss. They are going to give you specific information that is going to encourage you and motivate you to get to your next level. All right. And hey, listen, this t-shirt, we're going to put the link in our comments. We're going to put the link in the comments. This t-shirt says no lack. I believe in wearing my prophecy. I believe in speaking it. So no lack. I'm walking forward in no lack. I'm walking forward in 2021 with no lack. God is covering everything. And I believe that as I focus in on the purpose that he's given me, I won't have to lack. He's covering everything. I'm going to tell you, this has been one of those years that is going to be part of my testimony when I tell you I didn't lack for anything. Lost a job, did all kinds of things came after that, but I have not lacked for anything. So I'm serious. When you start to speak it out of your mouth and you believe what you're speaking, God takes care of the rest. He said, trust in him and pray and seek his face and turn from your wicked ways. Let me tell you, God is amazing. So yes, make sure you join in on January 23rd for God's Army, and see me here next Tuesday for our next Tuesday meeting at 7:00. I wish I had, let me see what we're talking about. Next Tuesday, we will be talking about how to get noticed. In other words, how to be the best you and attract exactly what you need so that you can get noticed and be where you need to be. So we're going to be talking about that next week. So tune in next Tuesday at 7. I am Sharonda Lynn. I love you. Take care. Listen, follow me. Yes, please follow me on social media. I am at Ask Sharonda Lynn on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. That's where I am. So, talk to you guys later. Take care.